Today is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. I broke out this camera to film because I don't know what else to do with my time for the rest of the day. I still have a couple hours before I have to pick up my brother. Full disclosure, I've been breaking my word every step of the way throughout the week and pretty much last week. Last week, I only went to the gym twice. So I broke my word on that, the 3 times per week. I also broke my word in terms of my sugary drinks. I've been consuming more than one sugary drink every single day for the past several days now. I've been using all sorts of excuses to do that. Right now, I'm actually on my way to go for my drive and to consume my second iced coffee for the day. I know why I'm doing these things. It's because I'm a weak person. I'm not the most consistent person either. The only thing that I consistently do is break my word and break my promises to myself. Yeah. And I realized why I said on my first video that I'm not making videos to inspire others. The reason why I said that is because I'm not the best example to follow. Someone who's watching my videos might be inspired in the sense that they're not alone if they're struggling as well. They might take some solace in that, but I wouldn't really say that that's inspiring. I want to inspire people, but I'm not the most inspirational individual on the planet. So if you're looking to get inspired by other people, there's better channels for that, I would say. However, what I am doing, the reason why I'm filming right now, is to show you what a real day in my life looks like. Not the most edited version, just a raw look into someone like me, unemployed still, looking for a job, but for the most part, idle at home, and breaking every promise every step of the way. I just want to film it because at the end of the day, even though I'm not the most consistent person, I'm still kicking. I still exist, and I do want to connect with people nonetheless. Even though I'm not the best example to follow, even if my life is not the best life out there, I still want to be able to connect with people and, maybe share something real with others who's experiencing the same things. Because I know for a fact that I'm not the only one who's struggling. Even though my struggles are so fucking mundane. But yeah, I'll take you with me on my way to my drive. Yeah, I'll talk along the way. Let's see, what else have I been doing that warrants your attention? Well, like I said, I've been breaking my word. I consumed pornography again. Not to the same addicted level as during my university years, but I still consume pornography. It's more so because like I said, I've been struggling to find things to occupy my time with, and I'm also right now, nothing's going my way, in my opinion. The only thing that's going my way right now is that I'm not homeless, and that's because of my parents. But for the most part, nothing's been going my way, so I've been looking for cheap dopamine to make myself feel good. I want to go to the gym consistently, but I haven't been doing that. I've been struggling. I also want to eat I also broke my word in terms of intermittent fasting. 2 days ago, I basically ate breakfast when I wasn't supposed to. And I ate chips. I ate a big party bag of chips because, like I said, I've been looking for cheap dopamine. I consumed Canada Dry, Coke Zero, iced coffee, bubble tea, all sorts of sugary drinks because I want to feel good. and I'm a weak person. And the other thing that I did recently was download dating apps, because I've also been looking for external validation in that way. I downloaded Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, Crush with a K, and Plenty of Fish. Although I deleted those last two apps because they weren't as good or as intuitive as I'd like them to be. But nevertheless, I downloaded all these apps because I've been looking for connection and external validation out there to, again, feel good about myself. But to no avail. I recently matched with someone for the very first time. I matched with someone on Bumble, and I found them to be cute. I was even surprised that I got a match with them, because in my profile on Bumble, I clearly indicated that I'm someone who's unemployed and looking for a job. In other words, I've been very honest with my profile. I'm not in the best place right now, but still, they matched with me. So I was like, oh shit, someone out there is actually looking for someone like me, someone who has no job, who has no means to go on dates. They're actually looking for someone like that. So I was like pleasantly surprised that, someone matched me. But I messaged them. They had an opening move. Like, basically, for those of you who've never been on dating apps, an opening move on Bumble is basically someone's automated first message. They have a premeditated message that they set up, and then you're supposed to respond to that, because on Bumble, I'm pretty sure the girls are the one who decide whether they want to message you back. Nonetheless, what I mean, I digress. So I messaged her and recommended a book that I've been reading, because she was basically asking what types of books I'd recommend for people to read. And I recommended the book the last book that I read, which was A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. And I asked her what she would recommend, if she had any books in mind. But guess what? Nothing. No response. Ghosted. So in that sense, that didn't go my way either. It was a pleasant surprise, mind you, but it didn't go at the end of the day. It didn't go well. It didn't lead to anywhere. So no external validation from that. But something that I've been really missing out on celebrating was my subscribers. That is an external validation that I feel glad about. In my first month on YouTube, I got 5 subscribers. 2 of them are my friends, 3 of them are strangers. So thank you to those of you who subscribe to me. Your attention means a lot. I personally don't think that I'm all that interesting, but the fact that people are willing to listen and watch my videos is kind of wild to me. I wonder every day why that is. Why 3 strangers would go on and subscribe to me. But I'm thankful nonetheless. So just yesterday alone, I applied to over 31 job applications. Mostly administrative roles, administrative assistant roles, housing worker roles. What else did I apply to? Rehabilitation support worker roles, office assistant roles. Yeah, these types of positions I applied to because I am really tired of waiting for this other opportunity that I recently got. It's not their fault. I know that job hunting takes time and hiring processes take time, but I am such an impatient motherfucker that I can't even wait a couple weeks for a good opportunity to respond to me. So to take up my idle time, what I decided to do was just, spam job applications left and right, so that I feel like I'm actually doing something. But yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because in the moment I feel like I'm doing something, but after I've applied to so many jobs and no one responds, again, it's like a loop. I get back to that state where I feel like I'm not doing enough. And again, I am not doing enough. I'm just job hunting. There's no progress right now. It's just, I'm just doing things, but there's no feedback. Or at least there's no substantial feedback. To me, substantial feedback is someone hires me and I start working again. That's because what I'm really afraid of is, if I don't work soon, I'm going to get stuck into this routine of idleness and dependence on my parents. Just today, I woke up at 10:30. Usually I wake up around 8 or 9, but I woke up 10:30 because I felt so discouraged to get up out of bed. So I slept in. I didn't want to deal with my day because I knew that there was nothing to deal with in the first place. I just have to face myself yet again during an empty day. So I decided to sleep in and wake up at 10:30, only to wake up to my mom doing my laundry. Again, an example of me being a spoiled brat. Mind you, I meant to do it, but I've been holding off on it. But then I wake up seeing that someone else has done it for me. My mother has done it for me. So again, I felt pathetic, even more pathetic than before that. I'm already doing nothing at home, and for someone to do my chores for me just felt degrading, even more degrading. Yeah. But so no job feedback, no dating feedback, been slacking at the gym, breaking my word every step of the way. It just feels like nothing is going my way. And this is what I don't like, because I tend to spiral into negativity whenever this is how my life goes. Whenever this is the state of things, I spiral into negativity. Yeah, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. But yeah, let's dive into that. What are my negative thoughts recently? I realized that I'm not someone who's ambitious at all. One of the reasons as to why I became so directionless early in life is because I don't really care about life in the first place, in the sense that I don't give a shit about careers. I never knew what I wanted to fucking do in life. I still don't know what I want to do in life. I'm applying to jobs that I feel are aligned with what I studied in university, but the things that I studied in university weren't even things that I really wanted to get into. They were just things I tried out, but never really got the passion for it. So I don't give a shit about careers. I need to make money, so I'm applying to jobs, but I don't want to work. I really don't. So part of that negative type of thinking was also, I'm never gonna kill myself. Well, never is a strong word, but for the foreseeable future, I will not kill myself because I'm so afraid that I'll go to hell if I do that. And I also don't know any painless way to do it. I'm afraid that if I make a mistake, I'll end up severing like a nerve. If I end up like maiming myself, mutilating myself to the point where I might become a cripple in some sense. So I don't trust myself with ending my own life. And I'm not going to kill myself because I'm afraid of potential consequences if I'm not successful with it. However, if something were to happen to me, I'm also not gonna prevent it. That's how I am right now, because I literally don't want to work for anything. In my previous video, I said that I don't care about life, and what I mean by that is I don't have a personal goal. The goals that I do have are these things that I feel I should be achieving. I feel I should be pursuing, but they're not necessarily mine. They're not what I want to do. If it were up to me, I wouldn't exist. That's the truth. If it were up to me, I would have never been born and I wouldn't exist, because everything is just fucking annoying. Everything is just so mundane. Everything is so fucking stressful. Things are getting done for me, but I'm still stressed. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to have to deal with anything. That's the truth. And recently, my mom was like saying, like, what's going on with you? What you gotta? She was basically worried about me because, you know, I feel like there's this sense that I'm not particularly thrilled about anything. And, you know, I don't tell her anything because I don't want to tell my mom that, Mom, I'm not thrilled with anything, and because I am not thrilled with anything. I don't want to be here. I don't want to tell her that. Because I don't think that's a parent would want to hear that from their own kid, especially after the things that she's done for me. Yeah. I really don't want to be here. I'm all right though. I won't kill myself. I won't, because I'm afraid. But if something were to happen to me, if there was a button to remove myself, if there was a button, painless way to go, oh boy. I'm spamming that button. Woo! That's a weight off my shoulder. Off my chest, not my shoulder, off my chest. Yeah. What about you guys? Do you feel the same way? Like, do you look forward to life? Do you have something to look forward to? Mind you, I do look forward to meeting with people. Like I said in my most recent video, I'm looking forward to meeting with an old friend next week. However, it's like I'm doing it because I want this feeling. I want to connect with someone, and maybe during our conversation, I'll find out that he also feels the same way, by and large. But it's not like it's not enough for me. That's not enough for me to feel like I want to keep on going in life. Like, just meeting with friends alone and going traveling, that's it's not enough. Like, I just don't give a shit. I don't. Yeah, that's the feeling. That's my emotion. I don't care about any of this. And that's why I'm also struggling with finding something that I want to do as a career. Because I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be here. Yeah. All right. We are at Tim Hortons again. And like I said, I'm going to purchase my second iced coffee for the day. That's how irresponsible I am being right now. Let's go. Hi, can I get a large iced coffee, please?
Sure, anything else?
No, that's it. What's that? I got me my second of the day. And to be honest, this is the shit that I look forward to. My sugared beverage. I don't know what to say about that. I'm just fat. I'm overweight. I'm not fat. I don't think I am fat. I behave like I'm fat, but I'm far from fat. I'm overweight. Yeah. The video right now is at 18 minutes and 40 seconds. I can already tell this is about to be another long one. And it's not like people are actually watching my long form videos, but I'm filming nonetheless because it's just a thing to do. Oh, almost hit that. It's basically the thing that I can occupy my time with. But I'm confident that no one is gonna watch this. I can already feel it. I'm basically gonna be uploading this video, and then when I say no one, I don't mean to disrespect the few subscribers that I do have. It's just that feeling of invisibility. I feel invisible whenever I upload videos and then barely anyone watches them. But I'll upload anyways, because it's for me. I'm doing it to document my days. Even though my days are so fucking redundant and it's so fucking mundane, trivial, unimportant, unremarkable, I'm documenting nonetheless. Alright, breaking my word again. But that feels good. What about you folks? Please tell me what's been going on in your life. Share. So maybe I don't feel like I'm just hailing these videos in the void. Please share what's going on with you. I'd love to hear. Maybe you've also been breaking your words and promises to yourself. But yeah, okay. Let's get into some, since it's going to be long anyways, I may as well go into it. I don't want to be here, but I'm not going to kill myself. Why is that? What am I afraid of? This is going to go into my religious beliefs. I'm afraid that I'm going to go to hell. I was raised Catholic, so a part of me still believes in eternal damnation and eternal salvation. So a part of me, a huge part of me, still believes in that. I believe in a heaven and a hell, but not out of faith. I believe out of fear. I'm afraid that I might be wrong, and there's actually a heaven or hell. But, okay, so I remain a believer of Catholicism through fear. But what do I actually believe in? What is my faith? If I were to categorize myself, I believe it's called agnostics. I believe that there is a higher power out there, because to me, everything that's going on in life, as much as it is random, it's also not random. I believe that something out there started all of this, started life. You call it whatever it is, Big Bang, whatever. But something started all of this shit. And I don't think that they're there to intervene. They basically started this shit, and almost like an experiment. They're just seeing how things go without them intervening. Why? I don't fucking know. Maybe because they're bored. They're bored with their own existence. But yeah, that's what I believe in. I believe that there's a higher power out there that started all of this. But what does that mean? By default, do I believe in heaven or hell? No. Well, yes, but not in the heaven in the sky type shit, or the hell like eternal fire type shit. I do believe that there is an afterlife and there is a heaven or hell, but in much simpler terms. The afterlife, to me, is basically what comes after the life that we're currently living in. I believe everyone is made up of particles, of atoms. Everyone is made up of smallest things that you can imagine. And whenever we die, we break down into the smallest parts imaginable. You can call them atoms whatsoever, but we break down. We don't ever disappear, but we break down into the smallest bits, which then, get reused by, they get eaten by animals, they get eaten by plants, and then at some point, these particles, they get to combine with other particles to, create another entity, another creature, another being. You can become an animal, you can become another human being. But my point is that we're all made up of smallest particles that always gets reused. You don't ever disappear. It's just energy getting reused and reformed into different creatures over time. So where does afterlife come in? Well, basically, I don't think that we're immortal in the sense that we're just getting reused all the time, but we're not, we get to experience life over and over again. And basically, our decision, for example, if right now everyone decided that they're not going to care about the climate and they're just going to throw their trash out and they're just going to cut trees left and right, then the next generation of people, the next creatures to live after this current life of ours, will be left with a planet that's burning, or that's super dirty, that's filthy, that's full of garbage. And in that sense, the decisions that we make right now determine the type of world that our next versions get to live in. And whether that's a pleasant world to live in or a fucking hellish place to be, is that I just saw a pothole. I felt that I felt it was going to be a hard impact. Anyways, but I digress. What was I saying? In that sense, our decisions right now determines whether this planet that we live in continues to be something habitable or inhabitable, a paradise or a hell. So in that sense, that's what I think about when I think about afterlife. It's the version of our life after this current one. And in that sense, there's a very literal take on it. So that's what I believe in. However, I might be completely wrong. And it turns out that there is a heaven or hell. There is a heaven up in the sky. That there is a God that judges you. Maybe there is. And I don't know. So all I know is that in Christianity, in Catholicism, killing yourself is a mortal sin. Just like Judas killed himself. And I don't want to be like Judas. I want to end up in heaven. So yeah, that's what I am afraid of. But I'm also afraid that if I make a mistake as I do the deed, if I make a mistake and I end up still living, I might end up with scars and wounds that won't heal. I might end up crippling my nerves. For example, if you slash yourself the wrong way, you might sever a nerve that won't heal back, and all of a sudden you're left with an arm that's no longer functional. I'm afraid of that happening, so I don't do it. I'm afraid of that. If I overdose in pills, it might, it might not end my life. It might actually ruin my digestive system. I don't know. That's what I'm afraid of. So I don't do it. Yeah. And I hate the fact that I have to wrestle with these types of thoughts because I was born. If I wasn't born, I wouldn't have to live through the feeling of fear all the time, the feeling of anxiety all the time. I get to be in bliss, non-existence, blissful non-existence. But yet I'm here. I have to wrestle with these emotions. I have to wrestle with these thoughts. I have to feel these things. I have to think these things. It's not like you can turn it off. Once you start thinking this way, it's like you gotta basically battle your thoughts all the time. Otherwise, they're just gonna win. You either gotta battle your thoughts or you gotta shut off your critical thinking altogether. Which is, I don't know whether that's a proper way to live. I think critical thinking is a good thing. I think if you shut it off, you're basically turning yourself into sort of slave to everything. But I don't even know whether that's a bad thing. Maybe that's what you have to do. Maybe in order to live a blissful life, that's what you got to do. You got to turn off your critical thinking. I don't know. But something about that feels wrong. Yeah. So what else am I going to do today? I'm driving right now because I don't want to be at home with my own thoughts. I think I'm going to go to the mall again, because that's the closest. See, this is what I mean. I miss the city, because if I was in the city, I won't have to go to the same damn mall whenever I'm feeling bored. I could be doing things, provided I have the money. I could be doing things left and right. But I don't have money, and I live in a remote place. I almost doxed myself. I live in a remote place. So all I can do is basically go to the same damn mall all the time. Yeah, but it's better than being alone with your own thoughts. And maybe just walking around is my form of workout today, even though it's such a bad type of like, it's not the best workout. I should have gone to the gym, but I just don't have the motivation to do it. I don't feel like it today. I don't know. Don't be like me. Don't be like me, please. Be better. I wish I was better. I wish I gave a shit, but I don't. Ay, ay, ay. It pisses me off. I'm pissed off at myself for not giving a shit, but I'm also pissed off at the fact that I have to give a shit in order to live a good life. I don't know. Okay. So what do I believe in terms of having kids? I am a proponent of the anti-natalism movement. I'm a proponent for that. I don't think that having a kid is a good thing. Especially now when it comes to me, when it comes to someone like me, who all I have are negative thoughts. It'd be a nightmare if I became a parent. I don't give a shit about life. Why the fuck would I want to have a kid? I'd turn out to be a fucking awful parent to be around. But besides that, I do think that life is just full of it's much more negative than it is positive. The effort that you got to put in order to have a good life, the shit that you got to deal with in order to have a good life. I can't wish that on an innocent soul. I would, if anything, I would much rather adopt a kid who's been abandoned by their own parents, by their biological parents, than to make a new one. Because in that sense, I'd be doing someone close to a service that I can think of. They've been abandoned. So by adopting someone, you're giving them a shot to a life that they wouldn't have access to otherwise. A loving family. That's what I would do. If I had to have a kid, I would adopt. Otherwise, I would not have a kid. It's just wrong. I think a lot of the people who do have kids, they don't think about it as seriously as they should. You know how like we go grocery shopping and we always think about how much the price of things are before we purchase things. How much we think about whether we can afford to pay for another subscription service. The taxes that we deal with every year. The decisions we make in terms of transportation. The bills that we gotta pay, all these things that we consider on a day-to-day basis. For some reason, I think a lot of these parents who end up having kids, they have kids because they shut off all these thoughts that they should be considering. It's like, you know, they think about groceries and all these bills that they're having to pay. But when it comes to having kids, they stop at wanting kids. They're just like, want to have a kid? Yeah, sure. I'd like that. And then they go and proceed to have kids. That's not, that you shouldn't be thinking like that. If you're going to have a kid, you shouldn't think like that. Because having a kid is one of the most important decisions that you're ever going to make. That's a huge responsibility. And if you're that pisses me off just thinking about it. If you're gonna have a kid and that's the way you think, you know, I'm just gonna have a kid. Do you want to have a kid? Yes, I do. Like, you're doing that child a disservice. Yeah. And what do you want? Like, why would you bring another innocent soul? There's already like 8.3 billion people in the world. Why are you gonna bring another one? There's tons of people who need you as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be adopted. Why would you bring another innocent soul? You know? There's plenty of kids already out there. Doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Why am I talking about this? Yay. Oh, there's the highway. I am now going to the mall. Ay. I don't even know what title I should put for this video. It's gonna be a long video that's full of tangents. There's no one topic that I'm discussing. I don't know, I'm just rambling. I think that's what my channel is. It's just me rambling. For better or for worse. Oh, something else. I'm about to run out of money. In one of my videos, I mentioned that all I had was $5,000 in my bank account. $2,000 of that was in my checking, and the rest was in my TFSA, and still is in my TFSA. When I say I'm about to run out of money, I'm about to run out of money in my checking account. Very close. $2,000 gone. All I'll have left soon is my TFSA, which I don't want to take out. It's my savings. I don't want to take that out. So soon, I'm going to have to ask my parents to, you know, refill my bank account so I have spending money, which will fuel this feeling of being pathetic even more. Maybe I'm wrong. I just saw a Ford Mustang pass by, and it kind of reignited this this desire in me, this dream. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I do have some goals, but it's such superficial goals. It's not anything substantial. It's all material shit. But yeah, for a long time, and still do, I really want to have my own Ford Mustang. It doesn't have to be a GT. It can be an EcoBoost, because that's the more affordable Mustang. But yeah, I'd like to own that. It's such a I'm overcompensating because I'm not a masculine guy. I'm such a feminine guy. I'm overcompensating my lack of masculinity. I look at that car and it just oozes testosterone. It looks so masculine to me that I want to get it. The other thing that I want to get and drive is a Ford Ranger or a Toyota 4Runner, the newer ones, the current gen, the iForce Max ones. And even more than that is a Toyota Land Cruiser. Those are the cars that I want to be able to drive and own, because they scratch that itch in me. I want to be a masculine guy, but I'm not. I'm a fucking pussy. Ay, ay, ay. So I want to overcompensate using these materialistic things. Fuck. That's who I am as a person. And here I am wanting to have a girlfriend when I haven't gotten my shit together. But that's the thing though. I want to have a girlfriend. Not have. I'm talking about them as if they're objects. They're not objects. But you know what I mean. I want to be with people, maybe even friends, but I want to have a partner who is down to just build a life with me, build things with me. That's why I still wanted to download these dating apps. I'm downloading them even though I know for a fact that I'm not in a steady place in life, because I want the possibility to have a partner who I can connect with and maybe is in a similar boat as me, who's willing to build a life with me. I want to have a partner who sees me for who I am right now, as opposed to this idealized version of me. Is that too much to ask for? Yeah. Can I not have a partner while I'm unemployed? Maybe it is too much to ask. I don't know. I'm at the mall, the parking lot at least, and I just watched the video that I currently recorded. It's long. And I'm about to add this footage on it too, on top of it. I don't know what to do with the rest of my day. I'm just glad I shared all these thoughts that I was having, because if I didn't, I'd probably go insane. Probably go pick up my brother now, and then pick up my dad from work, and then call it a day. Yeah, it feels like this literally is what my days are. I basically wake up for a couple hours, drop off my mom, film some YouTube videos, then pick up my brother, pick up my dad, eat dinner, and that's it. That's what my life has become for the past, what now, 2 months, 3 months. I quit my job, my most recent job, on December 9th. So it's about to turn 3 months. March 9th is coming up soon. So, and I'm wrestling whether I should just, because the good thing about that job is my previous manager had mentioned to me that if I ever want to go back, I can just message her. And really right now what I'm thinking about is going back to it. But you see what I mean though? Like, I'm all over the place now. On my previous videos, I mentioned that my plan is to go to PSW school. But just after I got this new opportunity knocking on my door, all of a sudden, all my previous plans are out the window. I don't know whether I still want to do PSW school. Even though it's such a stable job. It's just a very hard job though. That's the big thing that I'm kind of not seeing as ideal for me. I feel like if I do PSW, I'll I'll probably be able to stay for a little while, and then I'll end up hating myself because I'm sticking to a job that I don't really like to do. So I don't know if I'm ready for that. Uh, yeah. What to do? What to do? Yeah, for now, it's probably it. I'll see you in the next one.